Right, hello everybody. My name's Susan Clark. I'm the Artistic Director of B Arts. We're a company of artists based here in Stoke, and we've been going for about 30 years. And this year we're opening a bakery. And I want to explain to you why. Okay, so bread. Bread is a really everyday, commonplace thing. As soon as we start talking about bread, all sorts of phrases pop into our head. Give us this day our daily bread. It's really ordinary stuff, isn't it? But it's also really kind of crucial to our diet, so it's a cornerstone. So putting bread on the table has become a way of talking about money. It's something that has got a real kind of meaning for us. It's not just an object, it's not just a thing, it's not just a foodstuff, but it's something that's got meaning. It's even stood for our rights and freedoms, so the phrase bread and roses is something we're really familiar with as well. What really has struck me though is how little we actually value it. So recently there was a co-op advert that you might all remember, it's still on the TV I think, that says bread, it's really important and that's why we charge so little for it. That's the sort of thing that really upsets me about bread. So I've been obsessed about this for a while. I read a book called Not on the Label by Felicity Lawrence and also started to explore bread and how it's made. So we consume 11 million loaves of bread every day in the UK. And of those 11 million loaves, 80% of them are made by a process called the Chorleywood bread process, which some of you will have heard about. It's essentially an industrialised bread making process. What it does is it essentially takes flour and water, the basic ingredients of bread, and then just blows them up with air and all sorts of other stuff. It puts, if you look at the label of a supermarket bought bread, about 15 to 19 ingredients into a loaf. To actually make a loaf of bread, you need 3, maybe 4 ingredients. So 19 ingredients is not right. We can see that this isn't doing anybody any good because what it produces is great fluffy white bread that just turns to kind of nothing when you squish it up, that is actually making some people ill. So there are a lot of people I know who around at the moment who have celiac disease, who experience eating that sort of bread as something really unpleasant. And it doesn't actually go off, it just sits and dries out. So it's quite worrying, really, in terms of a foodstuff. Okay, so the other thing that's happened to us, so as a company, going back to my work, so we've done a lot of work over a long period of time with people who have come to this country, so refugees, asylum seekers, and in that period of time, this is back in the 2000s, when we were doing a lot of this work, we had a lot of meals together. And one of the big things in those meals were people talking about why they couldn't make their bread. They couldn't make the right sort of bread for them that meant they could sit and have dinner together. Now that's changed a lot over the time. We've got lots of naan bakeries around now, so that's kind of fixed itself to a certain extent. But then I reflected back on our home community, if you like, and I thought, actually, we don't know how to make bread. There are lots of people here who probably do know how to make bread in this room, but there are lots of people out here in communities that we work with who don't know how to make bread, and don't know how to or where to get real good bread. So we decided that what we wanted to do is to address that deficit, to address that need. So we are opening a real bread bakery where bread is made using time and only 3 ingredients: flour, water and salt. We are going to also open that up to bread workshops so that people can come in and learn how to make bread, and set up bread clubs around the city so that the expense of actually turning on an oven long enough to make a loaf of bread is shared amongst people in a community setting. So rather than the weight of having to pay for the electricity to put that oven on, it's down to one person, it's actually a group thing. We also think this addresses another deficit that we've got at the moment, which is a compassion and community deficit, and the opportunity for people to come together, to make bread together and break bread together, we think addresses a different sort of need in the community. So that's why an arts company is opening a bakery in Stoke this year. It's called Bread in Common. Look out for it, everybody. And I was tasked with a little bit of sprinkling of leadership in this talk, so I'm just going to have another 20 seconds on this, thank you, which is just to say, this is me, as a woman, having an idea that's based in something very domestic, very ordinary, very everyday, and just following that passion, and just believing that my idea, as a woman, based in something I know something about, is going to be life-changing for lots of people. Just get out there and do it. If you've got an idea, follow it.